Welcome back to the Out of Bounds podcast. I am Charlie Caleri alongside
Gavin Williams.
And very special episode today.
Oh, yeah.
We are doing our NFL season predictions and the week-by-week predictions. We're starting those today.
Starting at week 1 today. We're excited for the weekly episode of the weekly picks coming out, which is the first one today. But we have a little bit of a prediction before.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go divisions, then we're going to go standings, and then we're going to go playoffs and awards. And let's get right into it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see this is completely blind. I don't know who Gavin has. He doesn't know who I have. I'm excited to see who he has hoisting the Lombardi this year. But
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a good one.
let's start AFC East like normal.
Yeah.
We're going to go through our 1 through 4 and go from there.
Yeah.
All right, so my 1 through 4 in order in the AFC East will be the Bills, the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Patriots.
So I just have one flipped. Mine goes Bills, Jets, Dolphins, Patriots.
I feel like that's a pretty common
I think
thing.
2 and 3 could be switched.
2 and 3
honestly,
could be switched.
1 through 3
Yeah,
could be pretty interchangeable.
I was
but
going to say that as like looking at the Bills right now, I'm not totally confident in our team right now. I'm trying to go into the season with little or no expectations, which is really hard when you want to win a Super Bowl, especially a team that can win the Super Bowl. But the Dolphins and Jets are breathing right down our necks. I mean, it's not, you can't hide from it.
I mean, yeah, especially with Aaron Rodgers coming to the division. You still have Mr. Concussion, Tua Tagovailoa. We don't know what he can do. I mean, he was out for a lot last year, and we'll
Great
see.
weapons, though.
Yeah, we'll see if he stays healthy this whole season. I wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins finish first because of what Tua's expectations are and how well he could play when he's under pressure. I mean, we saw a lot of that at Alabama. I mean, we saw some of it when he was on the Dolphins, but I just want to see a full season with him, see how he adjusts and adapts to playing a full season in the NFL.
Yeah, and I mean, same thing with the Jets. I mean, they could easily be. I wouldn't be surprised if they're first or third or second, obviously, but I don't think fourth is even a question for anybody. I think the Pats are going to finish fourth. I really don't see how they can be great this year compared to the other three teams. They're going to really struggle in the division, and I think that's where they're going to really fall behind in the standings is those divisional games.
I really, truly believe that they could easily go 0-6.
In the division? Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I think they win 2 maybe.
maybe
Definitely
they
1.
steal
I think
2.
they definitely win 1.
Yeah, but I could see if they lost all
I could
6.
see, yeah, I agree.
And especially with the Patriots, something that a lot of people aren't used to seeing is seeing Belichick under 500, and for 2 years in a row, I think he will.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible with the roster that they have. It's not, they didn't really do much to get better. A lot of lateral moves. I mean, bringing in Juju was like
All right.
barely a step up,
Yeah.
but I mean, what's he really going to do for your offense? He's a really good number 2, maybe number 3, but you don't have the number 1 receiver. I mean, the tight end signings of Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry did not really work out like
Not
they
really.
wanted it to, but let's see if Mac Jones can work up some magic, and if not, then I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't even know what they have.
I see the Patriots not using their double tight ends, but that's why I see the Bills being the 1 seed is using that double tight ends. Instead of the K gun, it's going to be the A gun this season. I
The
think.
A-gun. I like that.
I
like
think
that.
Josh Allen's going to carry this offense. I think he's going to finish first, and I really see a fast tempo offense from Ken Dorsey this year.
All right. So shifting right now from the, I guess, flashy AFC East to hard-nosed football, AFC North.
Yeah, that's
Gavin, what do you got?
It's gonna be a really, really competitive division. And so what I have is 1 Bengals. I think that's pretty obvious. 2 Ravens, 3 Browns, and 4 Steelers.
Once again, only one difference here. I have Bengals 1, Ravens 2, Steelers 3, Browns 4. And Deontay Johnson, too.
Yeah.
Don't forget about him.
And I still – and Pat Freiermuth.
Yeah, and Najee Harris.
I mean, yeah. So they still have a squad, a young squad. But I still see like the Steelers. I don't know if they finish under 500, but that's how competitive I see this division being. I see maybe 1 or maybe 2 finishing under 500. The rest are going to be above.
I mean, this division is going to be so fun to watch this year. Every year, this is like the best primetime games to watch, and it's going to get even better this year because I mean, Bengals Ravens, you could have those two flipped even,
Yep.
and then Browns Steelers, you could have those two flipped. I mean, and especially when they're playing each other, like Browns Bengals, Steelers Ravens, any other combination, you know it's going to be a good game.
I'm really excited for Steelers Ravens this year.
Yeah.
That's like one of my favorite rivalries in the sport.
I actually
now
prefer when it's in Baltimore.
I'm the opposite.
Is that crazy?
That is pretty crazy.
I don't know.
And we get both of them every year. So
We do,
we're good.
yeah. So I guess we both win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Win-win.
Yeah.
So now we're moving from north to south.
What a bad division we have here, folks. I mean, this is crazy to say, but the consensus number one in this division is the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's weird
I mean,
to say.
When have we ever said that?
I'm excited to say that.
Yeah,
To say the least.
It's been a while since they've been, probably since the 90s, since they've been like consistently the number one, because even that team they had in 2017
Jacksonville.
wasn't supposed to be as good as they were. So my 1 through 4 is Jaguars. Number 2, I have the Houston Texans.
Jeez.
Number 3, I have the Tennessee Titans. And number 4, I have the Indianapolis Colts.
You're throwing some disrespect to Ian Kennedy right now.
I am. I already talked to him earlier about it, though. We're good.
You know what?
We're good.
My standings might favor Ian a little bit more, but I truly believe this is how it's going to finish out. 1, Jags. Can't really
No.
argue about that one. I really think the Jags will have a great year, especially with Trevor Lawrence getting his playoff experience. Played a competitive game with the Chiefs and everything. I think this can be a strong team, obvious. 2 through 4, in my opinion, can be switched any way you want it. That's the way you need it. Great song by Journey, by the way. But I see 1 Jags, 2 Colts. Shout out Ian. 3 Titans and 4 Texans. I don't see the Texans making any movements this year.
I was going to touch on the Texans a little bit later, but I think I'll just do it now. The only reason why I have them 2 is because I think that the Titans for sure. The only reason why I don't have them last in the division is because of Mike Vrabel, their coach,
And Derrick Henry.
and Derrick Henry. That's the only reasons. I mean, other than that,
Same here.
they signed DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, that's great, but who's throwing him the ball? I mean, anybody can hand the ball off to Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
I could do it. Gavin could do it.
Frank the Tank could do it too.
He could. He definitely could. But I have the Colts last. I just don't think they have enough. I think AR-15 is going to have AR-5. I think he's going to have a really good year this year. Don't get me wrong. But I think the Texans' offense is really going to surprise people. They have way more weapons than people realize. I mean,
That's true.
if C.J. Stroud can have a good I'm basically banking this prediction on C.J. Stroud having a good rookie year. I mean, John Mechie coming back, Dameon Pierce. They signed Singletary.
Ooh,
I know.
He's
but
horrible.
He's still an addition.
he's still horrible.
I mean, they still have Nico Collins. They still have a few of the other guys from last year. I mean, they're not. And Dalton Schultz they signed too in this offseason. So, I mean, who's to say that they can't finish second in the division?
I guess what I'm banking off is the Colts playing Jonathan Taylor. And
Yeah.
so basically that's why I have them too. If Jonathan Taylor's not playing, they're going from second to last in my predictions, but they still have MPJ. And
Alec Pierce.
They still have Alec Pierce. Right now they still have JT.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't like Moss that much, so if JT's not there.
Oh my god.
And I'm really, really high on Anthony Richardson. I'm really high on him. I think he's going to be the best quarterback out of this draft.
He definitely could be. Sorry, folks. We should not spend this much time talking about the Texans and Colts. So we're going to get on to the AFC West here. 1 through 4, I have Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, and Raiders.
I have the same exact order.
That's how it looks right now. Wouldn't totally be surprised if the Broncos finish last. But the Raiders are pretty bad. So
I don't trust Jimmy G with this team. And
No.
I know, I'm one of the biggest Jimmy G haters because he always finds a way to win, but I hope this is the one team he can't find a way to win.
this is such an evenly spread out division. Like, I feel like no team is going to be within like 2 games of each other. It's going to be like Chiefs have 14 wins, and
Chargers
then
have like 10, 11.
Chargers have 10, Broncos have 7, Raiders have 3, like something like
Yeah.
that. Like, it's pretty evened out. So that's the AFC right there. We're gonna get it to our 1 through 16 rankings right after we get to the NFC and the NFC East.
Yeah, so I'll start this one off. I think this one's pretty clear in my opinion. So I have Eagles 1, Cowboys 2, Giants 3, and Commanders 4.
I have the exact same rankings, actually.
I really don't see any great teams except for the Eagles out of this division. I think if the Cowboys make it, they'll be a first-round exit.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Giants, it was surprising last year. I don't see them doing the same thing. I don't know if they make it above 500 this year.
Really?
I'm really high on Saquon. I still like the offense, especially with the additions of Darren Waller. But I still, even though they won a playoff game, I still don't believe in Daniel Jones. I still don't. I really would like to say that.
Very fair.
But I think this season, after this season, if they do the same thing, that's when I believe in Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I mean, anybody can have a fluke season. I'm not saying Daniel Jones had one, but, I mean, we didn't see anything before that. So,
Exactly.
I mean, who knows? I mean, we could – I think it was smart by the Giants not giving him that big contract right away, because if they did,
Yeah.
who knows? Yeah, I don't really think you can really put the division any other way, but I do think that Giants-Cowboys is going to be closer than people think.
I think that could be the two that could be switched in the division.
If you had to pick.
Yeah, if I had to pick two to be switched, it would be the two of them.
But it's crazy because Washington's not terrible. I mean,
horrible.
they're like pretty mid. I mean, they're going to finish with 7, 8, 9 wins. But I mean, their defense, I mean, doesn't look terrible on paper.
Chase
at least,
Young's back,
if everybody's healthy. Their D-line has been one of the best in the NFL. I'll say it for the last decade, probably. They just keep rotating guys in there and keep having success on the D-line. The only thing that's always held them back has been their linebackers and their secondary.
Yeah.
But, I mean, their D-line is stellar. And, I mean, some weapons on offense, but no quarterback. Sam Howell.
Yeah.
We'll see how he does. Kind of rooting for the guy, but I don't know. His coach doesn't really know too much about him yet.
I mean, as a Syracuse fan, I'm not really rooting for Sam Howell. Never liked him.
I
never
know,
will.
I know.
So we'll move on from the east to the north.
Your
Charles,
division.
who you got? Yeah, this is my division.
Yeah, you go. It's
You
your
want me to
division,
start?
yeah.
All right. So for this one, I really can see 2 and 3 being swapped within a game of each other. So I'll go through it. 1, Lions. I'm really, really high on the Lions this year. I think you'll see in my standings where I have them in the final standings. But 2 and 3, I think, could be easily switched. Vikings 2, Packers 3. But I only see them being within a game of each other. So that could be a fight for a wild card spot. And then the Bears 4th.
I have the same, but I want to hear your like outlook on the Packers, I guess, this season. Like, how many wins you think? How do you think Jordan Love's going to do? How do you think that Christian Watson's going to develop? How do you think Dobbs is going to develop? I think he's going to have a pretty good year.
Yeah, so with the Packers, I see a high ceiling of 10 wins.
Okay.
I see a low ceiling of 6 wins. And the biggest thing that's going to surprise everybody, I think, with the name you just mentioned, is Romeo Dobbs. Jordan Love's favorite weapon is Romeo Dobbs. It's not Christian Watson.
Get him in fantasy if you haven't yet.
Because Romeo Dobbs was always he was a 7th-round pick. That's who Jordan Love was throwing to every single day when Christian Watson was up in the first strings.
Yeah, true.
So they built like a very special chemistry, but I'm also not diminishing Christian Watson's potential this season. I think he's still going to be a 1,000 yards receiver, and I think Romeo Dobbs will be right behind him, maybe with 800 yards. So I really think this young offense with a 2-headed goat in their running back.
Yeah.
I mean, the running backs, it's going to be a great season for the Packers. I think this one, like Charles and I were talking about this might be the most exciting season I ever watch. Because I always had such high expectations that I'm going to watch a young team.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to watch what they can do. I really think the Packers can make the 7th spot in the wild card. I really, really can. If Jordan Love is just mid, with that defense and the lines and the linemen we have, I really think we can make a push for the playoffs this year.
And I've been telling Gavin, I mean, it's kind of crazy, like, when you go from a team like the Packers who were at the top of the NFC for how long? I mean, as long as A-Rod was there.
Yeah.
And, I mean, besides a few years. But looking back on my favorite teams, like, that I've ever watched, I would go straight to, like, those fringe teams that, you know, are just fun. Like the Sabres last year. One of my favorite teams I think I've ever watched, and they're definitely just going to stay there, I think. The one Clippers team when they played the Warriors as the 8th seed in the first round, one of my favorite teams with Lou Will leading the helm.
Lou Will.
I mean, those teams, Allen's first year that we were like good in 2019, we played the Texans in the playoffs.
Yeah, that was
those are the
year.
best teams to watch. I mean, who's say the Yankees can't be that next year, but we're not getting too far into that right now. But, I mean, I'm excited for the Packers, too. I don't think they're going to I'll say this right now. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, but I do think they're going to be just out. They're going to be in it till week 17, 18.
Yeah, I think they'll be in it till 16, 17, maybe not 18 because that might be too late.
Yeah.
But watch, it might be the same thing as last year with a win you're in.
I mean, over 500 this year, I think, for the Packers is a win on
That's
the
a
season.
win. I mean,
'Cause
I would be
you
very-
finished same record as last year.
No, we would actually be 1 win better. We
Oh,
were
8-9 last year, yeah.
So I would be very, very happy. If we were 9-8, that's a W.
Yeah, I agree.
Even if we
Build
don't
on
make the
it.
playoffs.
Build on it.
So going from north to south, I guess in both divisions, I think the South is the weakest.
Yeah.
But this one might be the most exciting too for these young teams like the Panthers and Falcons. But in my rankings, I have 1 Saints, 2 Panthers, 3 Falcons, 4 Bucks.
A little bit of change for me. I have 1 Saints, 2 Falcons, 3 Panthers, 4 Bucks. I really like this Falcons team. Not saying they're going to make the playoffs, but the potential that they have on offense, if Ritter pans out, I mean, this team could be scary in like the next few years. Yeah. I mean, if Pitts can get better, I mean, he needs to show signs because they drafted him 4th overall and he really has not done much.
Well, that's where Ritter can come in, where he actually gives the ball to Pitts.
Yeah.
That could be a really strong connection if Ritter likes him.
I mean, and if they can find a way to make that Bijan, Ritter, even like Algier, Patterson backfield work with all 3 of them, or 2 out of the 3 or whatever
That's a three-headed
combination.
monster right there.
I mean, with Drake London on the out and then Pitts on the inside, I mean, their line's not terrible either. So the defense is pretty bad though. So that's why I have the Falcons not winning the division, and the Saints are just more of a complete team.
They are.
But we'll touch on the Saints a little bit later.
Yeah, and the reason why I have the Panthers over the Falcons is I see a little bit more of an age team with the Panthers. Bringing in Adam Thielen, bringing in Miles Sanders. Having that young quarterback with having some veterans behind him might help him develop a lot more. So that's why I see the Panthers jumping the Falcons this year. Plus the Panthers, they were in it last year.
Yeah, they were until the
Without
last
a
week.
quarterback.
Yeah.
That was without a quarterback. And if Bryce Young is somewhat decent, he can bring this team not to the playoffs, but into the 2 spot of the division.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be they definitely could make the playoffs. I mean, one injury on the Saints probably being like, Marshawn Lattimore or somebody like that. I mean, Kamara's suspended. Let's remember that. So if Panthers get off to a hot start, Saints get off to a slow start, division's wide open.
Absolutely.
Wide open. The Bucks have no chance though. So
yeah, I mean, I'd love to see Baker Mayfield do well with this team. He still has a lot of weapons around him, but I still don't see them winning. I don't even see them finishing 3rd. I still see him in the 4th.
Yeah. I want to touch on Baker in a little bit, but so in the NFC West now, my 1 through 4 is Niners, Seahawks, Rams, and Cardinals.
Mine's the exact same thing. And
just like the AFC West, honestly.
Honestly, if the Rams they still do have a lot of guys in that team that can perform. So, I mean, if Stafford stays healthy, Kupp stays healthy. Kupp's not healthy right now, though, but if he gets back to being healthy, Aaron Donald's healthy, they don't have Jalen Ramsey anymore, but it could still be a good team. If they jump the Seahawks because they remain healthy and they remain what they do a couple of years ago, maybe they can jump the Seahawks, but I still don't see it happening.
I don't like the Rams because they're such a top-heavy team. We saw it last year. I mean, all their top guys got hurt, and then what?
Nothing.
They lost like almost every game that they didn't have one of their guys in.
Yep.
I mean, I think they'll finish with like 6 or 7 wins. That's being generous, honestly.
And I see the Cardinals 3-4 being generous.
3 is being generous for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go on to just saying our 1 through 16. Maybe go 16-1?
I'll go 16-1.
16-1 in the AFC and NFC. So starting in your AFC 16 seed, who do you have?
Houston Texans.
Wow.
Who do you have in your 16?
The Colts. Sorry, Ian. I mean, I gave you too much love with the Terps last episode, but the Colts are just they're just not good, man. They're just not good.
Who do you got at 15?
Titans.
I also have the Titans 15.
14, I have the Raiders.
And I have the Colts at 14.
Okay, there we go. 13, I have the Patriots.
I also have the Patriots
because
at 13.
They have the hardest strength of schedule in the league.
Yeah, I checked that out.
Yeah. 12, I have the Texans.
I have the Raiders at 12.
Okay, so we have all those teams in that bubble right there.
Yeah.
I'm glad we have that. 11, I have the Broncos.
I have the Steelers.
Steelers, okay. I have Browns at 10.
I have Broncos at 10.
I have Steelers at 9.
And I have Browns at 9.
Okay, here we go. It's a little. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting.
Yeah. The 8 through 1.
So one of these teams is going to miss the playoffs.
And that's crazy
which
because
is crazy.
These 8 teams are amazing.
Yeah.
And they all can make I'm not saying a Super Bowl run, but they can make a postseason run.
Yeah, I mean, even a team like it seems like the Chargers right now, who I actually have at my 7 seed, and I have the Jets at 8.
Wow.
I have the Jets missing the playoffs only because I think they're going to start slow because of team chemistry issues, especially with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's the problem, but I'm saying I think he's going to want more out of his receivers that they can't give it to him right away because he hasn't been with them for so long. Kind of like what we saw last year at the Packers.
Yeah. I have the Dolphins at the 8 seed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I don't like a couple things. I love the receivers. I'm just banking on Tua. He's got to stay healthy for this team to make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true.
And
can't have Mike White starting games. I love Mike White, but you cannot have him starting games and expect to make a playoff run.
No. And with their defense, I'm a little scared. I mean, I still like their defense. I don't like that Jalen Ramsey's hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long he's going to be out. They said weeks to months. And if they don't, that's my thing. If the Dolphins get off to a slow start, I do not see them bouncing back.
No, I mean, it's going to be a tough hole to climb, especially in one of the toughest division, if not arguably the toughest division in the NFL.
Yeah.
So that's I have Jets 8, Chargers 7, Dolphins 6.
I have Dolphins 8, Ravens 7, Chargers
7.
6.
I have Ravens at 5. So I have them as the first wild card, I guess.
In
there.
I
think they actually tie with the Bengals
really?
in the standings. Yeah, I think the Ravens have a really good year. Lamar's due for a great year.
I mean, he is, but
football is exciting when Lamar is good.
I mean, that's true, but I still don't see enough weapons around him.
I agree.
He has OBJ, but he also has Zay Flowers, but I think Zay Flowers is too young. I still like Mark Andrews. I'm not
Bateman
taking that away. Bateman doesn't have enough playing time.
Dobbins.
Their line is really sketch.
Yeah.
I still like Dobbins, but I have the Ravens finishing at 7,
Chargers
at 6.
If the Ravens can be a cohesive unit, kind of like the Jets, honestly, but I only have the Ravens over the Jets because they've all of them been together, but they've never been on the field all together because they've all been hurt at some point. So
yeah.
that's kind of why I like the Ravens a little bit more.
And a team that I'll elaborate a little bit right now at my 5 spot, New York Jets, man. I like where you're coming from with Aaron's not going to get enough of what he wants. But the difference is, with the Jets at 5, Aaron's, in my opinion, Aaron is officially happy again. Last year, in the past couple of years, he has not been happy. He's still been playing well. Even in the 2 years he was an MVP, he wasn't happy. This is a year where Aaron's happy to be a Jet. Unfortunately, I don't like saying that, but
he does seem like it. I've been watching Hard Knocks. He looks very happy to be a New York Jet. Yeah,
he's doing a lot of
Salah too. He loves Salah.
He's doing a lot of off the field things with the team. He's going to the U.S. Open with C.J. Uzama. He's with a couple players like Sauce. They're going to back in the spring. They were going to Rangers and Knicks games.
Yeah.
He's doing a lot of team chemistry building things, and I think that's going to really build. They're going to be the 5 seed, in my opinion.
That's very fair.
Only 1 or 2 games behind the Bills, in my opinion.
Okay. I mean, I could definitely see that. The Jets are just such a mystery team right now.
They are.
Because, I mean, last year they really did show flashes, but I don't know, man. You bring in that many people, it's hard to really say that they can be a...
But the last team to bring in that many people was the Rams, and they won the Super Bowl.
They did win the Super Bowl, but I don't know. That Rams team was different. When you watch them, maybe the Jets will be the same. I hope not, but I guess we'll see. 4, I have the Jags.
I do too.
Okay, so then this is where we get into what I like to call the 3-team playoff.
Yep.
Where you have who I have at 3. I have the Bengals.
I have the Bills.
The Chiefs at 2, and I have the Bills at 1.
Wow. Okay, so I go.
Let me explain.
Okay.
Let me explain.
And I'll go after.
Okay. So I think the Bengals lose to both the Bills and the Chiefs.
Okay.
So
I have them going 1-1.
The Bengals play the Bills at home and the Chiefs on the road. I think they lose both. The Chiefs play, surprise, surprise, both teams at home again.
Of course.
I think they beat the Bengals at Burrowhead, but lose to the Bills. And
the Bills are good in the regular season.
In the regular season, the Bills are very good in Arrowhead.
Very good.
I don't know if we can make it 3 in a row at Arrowhead, but
we'll
in the regular season.
In the regular season.
And then I think the Bills beat both of them. I don't know. I feel like we're a really good regular season team.
That's true.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm feeling really good. 1 seed, I feel like, is not out of the question. We were in it until the end of the season last year. Things went kind of not as planned.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'll elaborate
Yeah.
on my
Yeah.
three. So
Yeah.
I have the three for the Bills. Reason being, I have them losing both those games.
that's very fair. I mean, they're swing games, so
Yeah.
I mean, anything's right. I think in this
And-
scenario.
And I just think it's really hard playing in Arrowhead, and I don't see them going 3 times in a row because Patrick Mahomes, he's different, man. He's not gonna let that happen again, in my opinion. But I also wouldn't be surprised if Josh Allen hurdles another man.
That'd be
Arrowhead.
great. I would love that.
And I see that being a really close game, maybe a game-winning field goal, maybe an overtime game. I still see the Bills losing in Arrowhead. And with the Bengals, I see a lot of DeMar Hamlin tribute that the Bills are going to be worrying about too much.
Mm.
They're going to get inside each other's head
Okay.
oh, remember what happened last time? And the Bengals are going to be like, let's just go out and let's win
So you
this
think
game.
going back to Cincy's going to hurt the Bills?
Yeah,
I
that-
think the opposite. I think it's going to help them.
I think it's not. I think it's going to do the opposite of motivate them. I think it's going to get them a little scared. And I really see Joe Burrow having probably the game of his life.
I mean, I
Yes.
just can't wait until we see Burrow and Mahomes in Buffalo in the same season.
Oh, that'd be
Because, I mean, Mahomes has played one time in Buffalo, and it was
COVID.
when we had no fans. We had 0 fans in attendance. So I don't think Mahomes can be able to handle it,
I don't think he will.
especially
when that comes.
if it's in the playoffs.
That'd be great. But so mine goes 3 Bills, 2 Bengals because I see them losing to the Chiefs in Arrowhead, 1 Chiefs.
Very fair. I mean,
I see
it's the Super Bowl champs.
I think that the three right here, and what I have in my standings is whoever's home is winning. And
yeah,
I really think home field advantage for just regular season is really going to help these teams win these
it does.
swing games.
Especially because they're all, I'm assuming, prime time. They should be
Oh,
if
yeah.
they're not. But
At least evening games.
yeah, that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Bills and Chiefs should not be playing at 1:00, and I don't think the NFL has that. I
I
think
don't
we're
think
prime
we'll ever
time.
do
But
that, yeah.
moving over to the NFC now.
Where this can this can fluctuate a little bit. This
Yeah.
can be really hit or miss. We might not even have the same for the top 10. And we'll
Yeah.
see.
I'm gonna go quickly 16 through 10.
Yeah, 'cause
Right now?
that's pretty quick.
I'm gonna 16's Cardinals, 15 I have the Bucks, 14 I have the Bears, 13 I have the Rams, 12 I have the Panthers, 11 I have the Commanders, and 10 I have the Falcons.
Okay, so mine's a little bit different. Mine's going to be 16 Cardinals, 15 Commanders, 14 Bucks, 13 Falcons, 12 Bears, 11 Panthers, 10 Rams.
I mean, it's the same teams, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those teams are all just it's tough to watch,
It
honestly.
is really hard to watch.
Some of them, I mean, the Bears should be kind of fun this year, honestly, to watch.
Yeah, they probably will.
I know you
I'm
don't.
still not going to watch them.
I know you don't like them, but I feel like Fields and DJ Morgan have a really fun season.
Yeah, that's going to be really interesting to watch.
But I mean, they lost a few guys, so I mean, David Montgomery's a big loss, especially going through the division over to Detroit.
Yeah.
So, number 9, I have your Green Bay Packers.
I also have my Green Bay Packers at 9.
8,
I have the Giants.
really, even missing the playoffs?
I do.
I have Seattle at 8.
Wow.
I have Seattle at 8.
Wow.
I honestly think that Jackson Smith and Jigba being out is going to hurt them. I'm not going to lie. I know that sounds kind of
but
crazy,
he's
but
slated to be back like 2 or 3.
I think they're going to start off really slow.
Okay.
I don't know. Something about the Seahawks team this year. I love Geno, but I don't know if he can do it again.
That's true.
And I think the Giants are just, compared to these other teams that are in the playoffs, they have enough depth, but it's just something's not there for me with the Seahawks. It wasn't there really last year even. They snuck in. They had a few, I don't want to say fluke plays, but went to overtime against the Rams when they were really bad, and the Lions almost made the playoffs.
That's exactly why I have them out of the playoffs.
Yeah. Who? The Giants?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have the Giants at 7. So
Okay.
not
I have the
too far.
Vikings at 7.
Vikings at 7. Okay. I have Cowboys at 6.
I have Seahawks at 6.
Seahawks at 6. So you have Cowboys at 5, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay, I have Vikings at 5. I think they are going to tie with the Lions. Something very interesting I see is that they play week 16 and week 18. So those 2 late season
That's
games are going to be incredible.
Big, yeah.
I don't know if that's bad scheduling by the NFL or really good scheduling, but
And
I guess
see
we'll
in the
see.
long run, right?
I guess we'll see. It's going to be really weird not seeing them play early in the season
Yeah.
or even in the middle. Just 2 of the last 3 weeks, just go at it. Play basically a play-in game for the division, probably at that point.
Yeah. And I'm gonna guess right now 4 through 1 is going to be the same for us. So I'll go first.
Yeah, I would assume.
4 Saints,
Yep.
3 Lions,
Yes.
2 Niners,
Yes.
1 Eagles.
Yes.
I don't really see any change.
No, I mean it's kind of like if that was a division, it'd be kind of like the AFC and NFC West.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just you can't really dispute it. The only thing I think you might be able to flip is if the Eagles are banged up and the Niners
The Niners jump.
get better,
Yeah.
or if the Lions have a better season. But I mean, that's all hypotheticals right there.
Yeah.
So just based on what we have right now, I think the Eagles are going to be the best team in the NFL. I
Okay.
think they're going to win 15 games.
I can see that
I think they're
really
going to go
easy.
15-2.
I can see that very easily.
Because I mean, were they 15-2 last year? I know they were undefeated until
I think they were 14th.
14-3. So I mean, I know they were undefeated until that Washington game in prime time. Then they lost. But 15-2 is crazy to say that it's not outlandish for a team to go that. But I mean, this team is just stacked. I mean, top to bottom, it's just incredible. They're
Yeah.
a great team.
And honestly, in my opinion, I see them. They even upgraded. I don't know how, but they went.
They
out
somehow,
with,
they got better.
They went out with Sanders and with Swift. They
Yeah.
still got Jalen Carter.
I'll
Like,
talk about Jalen
I
Carter
will
later.
too. I will too.
You will?
I will.
Oh my God.
But I really see the Eagles making a deep, deep run.
We will talk about the Eagles.
Yeah,
I'm assuming. Yeah, okay. So now, very, very exciting stuff right here. We got
Yeah.
the awards.
Yeah.
You want to start off with Coach of the Year?
I'd love to. A man
Come
who
on.
cries for his
Come on.
team, Dan Campbell.
I have the same pick. Dan Campbell, MCDC, as Pat McAfee likes to call him,
Yep.
Motor City Dan Campbell.
I will bet on a team. If your coach cries for your team, I am betting on that man every week.
Yeah, I mean, he's a passionate coach, and that Lions fan base has been through so much.
And honestly, Dan Campbell was in the running last year.
He
in my
was in the
opinion.
running last year. If they made the playoffs last year,
He
I
probably
think he
would've won
could have won it.
Brian
This
Daboll,
year,
though.
if they finish as what we projected, the 3 seed,
Mm-hmm.
win the North, that's enough, I think, to
Yeah.
get him Coach of the Year. Especially because 2 years ago, they had the number 2 pick,
Yeah,
Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my
So,
guy.
Now we're gonna go with defensive rookie of the year. Who do you have for it?
I have Jalen Carter,
Nice.
and I'm assuming you do too.
I don't.
No? Who do you have?
I have Devin Witherspoon.
Devin. Oh, wow.
Yep.
Yeah, that's. Wow, I didn't even really think about him, but that's a kind of a bold pick right there.
I think it is too.
So you're thinking he's going to really help that secondary?
That's why I have them finishing sixth, because he really helps with the
Yeah.
secondary. Because I
That-
mean,
Yeah.
Diggs can't do it by himself.
No.
So
That Seahawks secondary is really underrated.
they can be top 5.
Could be. Jalen Carter going to the Eagles at 10, which was the Saints pick, is just,
Crazy.
I mean, how does that even happen?
I thought he was going to go top 5.
They got a top 5 player, potentially top 4-3
Yeah.
player in the draft at 10. Just because of needs that other teams had, like
Yep.
Bijan going early, guys like that. So
In the quarterback situation.
just fall right in their lap. They had to take him. They have the whole Georgia defense. He's going to be comfortable right away.
Yep.
So I think that's why he wins the defensive rookie of the year.
Jalen Carter and Fletcher Cox, the 1-2 punch
Oh.
right at your mouth. Come
How
on.
it-
I'd be scared.
Fletcher Cox does not get enough credit.
He
He's
doesn't.
been good for as long as I've been watching football.
Same here.
I mean,
And he purposely took a pay cut, too, this offseason.
he's a dog.
He purposely declined his player option to get a lower salary.
He wants to win
help-
another Super Bowl.
Exactly. I love that.
Yep.
I love that.
I mean, that's what you have to do to win sometimes, and glad that he is doing that for his team.
Absolutely.
Offensive rookie of the year.
I want to hear it.
Are you ready?
You're going to say CJ Stroud, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Okay, good.
Jordan Addison,
I like that.
Minnesota Vikings.
It's a good one.
One simple reason, and I'll touch on this a little bit because I have another pick that's kind of linked to him, but not totally.
Okay.
Jordan Addison is replacing Adam Thielen,
This is true.
right? But I honestly see it as an upgrade from where Thielen was last year.
I think it is, too.
So, with that being said, the amount that teams double Justin Jefferson, he's going to be open
He
and he's
is.
going to get yards. So, I think he's going to rack up yards over the, everybody saying Bijan,
That's who I'm gonna
everybody
say.
saying those quarterbacks. But I think Jordan Addison is really going to surprise some people this year.
So that was your bold pick. I'm going with Bijan because,
Yeah.
I mean, I saw him in the preseason. It was a really good
He looked
start
good.
for him.
Yeah.
And I see teams they're not going to be able to bring him down. He's going to be fighting for the extra 3-4 yards every carry. He was a dog at Texas.
He was.
I think he's going to be a dog for the Falcons, especially if that offense opens up. Say Ritter's good, and the offense opens up just a little bit where they're thinking about the pass. Here comes Bijan down your throat.
Yep.
And now we'll move on to Defensive Player of the Year and Offensive Player of the Year. This is where I'm going to spice up. I'm going to say my two right now.
Okay. Together?
Yep.
Okay.
From Offensive and Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Wow.
They're shining again. Defensive Player of the Year, Sauce Gardner. Offensive Player of the Year, Garrett Wilson.
Have we ever seen that in the league?
I don't think we have. I think I'm going to say it right now because I don't know.
You don't have Rodgers at MVP, right?
No.
Okay.
But I see these two guys going from from rookies to official awards.
I mean, that's
my bold take.
I mean, it's honestly definitely possible, which is crazy. I mean, they're two, I'm not going to say generational talents, but they're two superstar talents on the same team drafted in the same draft.
It just picks away from each other.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. They go up against each other every single practice, making each other better.
Yep, and
they're trash talking. I see it on Hard Knocks. They trash talk each other.
And then they dap each other up. They give each other a hug, some compliments.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I really see those two guys shining once again, taking even a bigger step and claiming the Offensive and Defensive Player of the Year. And if you're listening, Timmy Barcombe, you're welcome. I got you, JETS. We'll see what they can do.
And Chris, our friend Chris.
And Briss.
Yeah. Defensive Player of the Year for me, I have TJ Watt. I think he's going to run it back.
I like that.
He only played 10 games last year, so I think that's going to really help him this year. He's going to be hungry. He's going to be fully healthy, hopefully, because when he's on the field, I mean, he basically starts the season at 10 sacks and then goes from there. He is a generational talent. I mean,
really
have we ever seen a brother duo dominate the league like him and JJ have?
There's only one thing that TJ has a less skill set of. That's falling in a pool. That's the only thing.
That video is so funny. If
you guys haven't watched
He's enjoying the
video,
retired life, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Shout
out to JJ Watt.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that video, please just search up falling into the pool. It's so
JJ
funny.
Watt falling in the pool. It's going to make you laugh. My Offensive Player of the Year, like I said, was linked to Jordan Addison a little bit, and it's not going to sound linked right away. I have Jamar Chase, okay?
I was right. It was TJ Watt falling in a pool.
Oh, is TJ Watt falling in the pool?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. TJ Watt falling in the pool.
Yeah.
Still very funny.
Still hilarious.
I have Jamar Chase winning Offensive Player of the Year, only because, like I said before, I think Justin Jefferson's going to get doubled enough where Jamar Chase is going to rack up more yards than him, more touchdowns than him, and he's just going to be a better player this season than Justin Jefferson. Yeah, I have Justin Jefferson.
I like that take.
Or I have Jamar Chase winning Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yes. I like that pick.
Yeah.
So
MVP.
Now, MVP.
Here we
I want to hear you. I want to hear you. I want to hear what you have to say.
Jalen Hurts.
I have Jalen Hurts as well.
I mean, it's just like, I don't know. He's not like a consensus. Obviously, Mahomes is probably the favorite, and then Burrow and Allen. But Hurts, I mean, is right there. And like I wrote right here, best record with a great QB equals MVP.
Yeah.
Finish best in the league. There's a good chance that if you have a superstar QB, they're going to win MVP. Simple as that.
There's one thing. Jalen Hurts, his home screen is a picture of him walking off the field of the Super Bowl.
He's hungry.
He is hungry. I used to watch him squat 400 pounds after Oklahoma games. That's the kind of guy you want on your team.
Yeah, it is.
And I'll bring up Jalen
He's a great
Hurts
leader.
soon, too.
He's a great leader.
Yeah. And I really see Jalen Hurts taking that step, and this is the season where Jalen Hurts, everybody's going to be talking about him, and that they have the three-headed goat. They have Burrow, they have Allen, and they have Mahomes. And people are going to start talking about Hurts now with those three
He's
guys.
in that discussion for sure. I mean, some people are, very fair to say, number 2 quarterback in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
That's probably where I have him ranked, honestly.
Hurts?
Maybe. Depends.
I have him still, as of right now, 4.
It's,
maybe
I
I have him 3, but I still wouldn't put him at number 2, but we'll see. After the season, he'll be the second best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, I agree. And it's crazy because, like, Patrick Mahomes might have a better season, but, like, we're so used to it now that's just
we're rooting for anybody else.
Yeah, basically. I would love it if Josh won, but I don't think it's in the cards this year. I think he's going to be doing better things. With that being said,
let's go to the playoffs.
Let's go to the playoffs. I mean, that's what everybody's here for. AFC wildcard.
Yep.
My number 2 seed Chiefs are playing the number 7 seed Chargers.
Okay. Oh, nice
And
little divisional matchup.
Divisional matchup. And I have the Chiefs winning that game.
Okay.
And then number 3 seed Bengals versus number 6 seed Dolphins. I have the Bengals winning that game. So those are
That's
pretty.
a good game. I like that game.
Those would be really good games. Number 4 Jags versus number 5 Ravens.
It's a good game too.
This would be honestly one of the best games in the playoffs. And looking at my screen right now, I think this would be the best game in the playoffs.
Okay.
And the wild card.
Yeah.
I have the Ravens winning that game, going into Jacksonville,
I can see that happening.
winning. All I said before, I think they're just gonna have a really good year.
Mhm.
Gonna carry that into postseason.
Do you want
Be
me to
that fourth team, kind of,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, do your AFC
do-
wild card.
So my wild card, number 2 seed Bengals versus number 7 seed Ravens.
Wow,
Get your
AFC
popcorn.
North in the playoffs. Wow.
I have the Bengals winning that game.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing that happened last year.
hmm
But I got the Bengals.
Underrated
winning on
playoff game.
that. That would be that might be an overtime win.
That'd be awesome.
Second game, which I feel like I've only seen one time I watched these two teams play, and it was because of Nathan Peterman. But the Bills,
Oh,
3rd seed, and the 6th seeded Chargers. I feel like that could be a really good game. I still have the Bills winning that game, but I feel like I just haven't seen them play each other enough. I want to watch.
Let me
these
just
teams-
step in here for 1 second. I mean, I'm not a Nathan Peterman fan. I'm a Bills fan. But let me just say, Patrick DeMarco ruined Nathan Peterman's career. If he doesn't drop that first pass, I think Nathan Peterman's confidence right there. And who's to say that Nathan Peterman isn't our franchise quarterback right now and Josh Allen is still sitting on the bench being the quarterback coach at Wyoming?
I mean, yeah, I really like.
I'm kidding, by the way. I'm kidding.
I really like the Bills. I that's a matchup I want to watch. Bills and Chargers. That's an open matchup.
That'd be great. I mean,
still see the
not
Bills
for me.
winning.
I'd be so scared.
Well,
but
yeah, but I would love that game. I mean, watching Justin Herbert with his weapons on offense, Quentin Johnson coming in, so is Eckler, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen against that Bills really good defense. Yeah. I think the Bills would be the second best defense in the league this year. That would be a really fun game.
I kind of see, and I know they don't play similarly, but I think just the team may be making me link them a little bit. But Phillip Rivers and Justin Herbert, it's the same thing as when Phillip Rivers was in his prime. He's like the 4th best quarterback in the conference behind, when Rivers had Brady, Manning, and Big Ben.
Yeah.
Those were the top 3. And now you have Mahomes, Allen, and Burrow. And then you have Herbert and Rivers.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Chargers really cannot catch a break with landing a franchise quarterback. But when, teams in their conference also have franchise quarterbacks that are better. So,
yeah,
just a little thing there for the Chargers.
And then my last one in the wild card is my 4-seeded Jags and then the 5-seeded Jets. I see the Jets walking in there. I see them winning by 10 points. Jets are going to get the win there.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely possible.
Yeah.
It's kind of the Jags are kind of a mystery, too.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of like the Seahawks, but just a little bit more of a safe play because of the division they play in.
Yeah, so do you want to go divisional or you want me to go divisional first?
I think we go to NFC wildcard.
Okay.
I think we just get the wild card done right away.
So in the wild card for the NFC, I have the 2-seeded 49ers versus the 7-seeded Vikings, and that is a game where the Vikings are going to wish they didn't make the playoffs. So 49ers win.
Yeah, Kirk once again losing. Who's your 3?
3-seeded Lions versus
3-seeded
6-seeded Seahawks, and
Okay.
and two teams that judged each other's playoff circumstances last year.
Yeah.
If the Seahawks lost, the Lions were in. That's gonna be a fun game. Seahawks win that game though. They walk into Detroit and they're gonna get the win. And then I have the Saints, which are the 4 seed, and the Cowboys, and I have the Saints winning, going to the divisional matchup.
You have the Saints beating the Cowboys.
I do.
Playoffs.
I do.
Wow. So you think that Derek Carr?
This is the last season for Dak Prescott, and Trey Lance is up next.
Wow, that's a bold take by Gavin Williams right
Yep.
here, and I like it. I like it. I have the number 2 seed 49ers versus the number 7 seed Giants. The Niners are going to steamroll the
That would
Giants
be
if
an
they play in
ugly
the playoffs.
matchup.
I don't know if steamroll is a right word, but I think it would be a 14-point game, 13-point game,
Maybe more.
being generous.
Yeah.
Then I have the 3 seed Lions versus the 6 seed Cowboys.
It's a good game.
This would be a great game.
That's a flashback to 2015 2015.
Yes, last time the Lions were in the playoffs, I
Yep.
think. I have the Cowboys going into Detroit, unfortunately, beating the Lions.
Oh,
I said this before. The Lions are my NFC team. They are. MCDC, Dan Campbell, all those guys that they got, Jared Goff, those are my guys. But they don't have enough experience. Simple as that. I mean, they're a great team. They have a great future, but not this year.
yeah. Who's your last one?
Saints versus Vikings, 4-5. I have the Vikings going in, beating the Saints.
Okay.
I feel like every time the Saints are in the playoffs, they play the Vikings,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, we've seen it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, they played a few years ago the last time. I think, well, I know the last time the Saints made it, they played the Bucks.
Well, the
But I think
Vikings
they
won in
beat the
overtime.
Vikings, though.
The Vikings won in overtime in New Orleans.
They
when
did. Kyle Rudolph. Yeah.
And then
corner of the end zone.
obviously the Minneapolis
Minneapolis
Miracle.
Miracle.
And there was a couple more, I think.
Yeah, storied franchises going up against each other. All right, now for the AFC divisional. This is where it's going to get really real.
It's going to get spicy.
Should we go NFC first, actually? NFC
Yeah,
divisional?
let's say the
Okay,
AFC
okay.
divisional.
All right, go for it.
First seeded Eagles versus 6th seeded Seahawks. Bird matchup.
Bird matchup.
I still have the Eagles having an easy one.
Yeah, I mean,
And then I have the 2-seeded 49ers versus the 4-seeded Saints, and I have the Saints win. No, I'm joking. I have the
oh
49ers
wow.
going on.
If you guys saw me right now, my eyes were out of my head. Yeah, I mean, Niners, great team.
Yeah.
Great team. Can't deny it. I have number 1 Eagles versus number 6 seeded Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs.
49ers.
Eagles Cowboys.
Oh, Eagles Cowboys.
Eagles Cowboys in the
Wow,
NFC
that's a good
divisional
game.
in Philly. Eagles win.
Yeah.
Eagles win.
Yeah.
Number 2 Niners versus number 5 Vikings. Give me Kirk Cousins and the Vikings winning this game. Going into San Fran, actually Santa Clara, and beating the Niners.
That was a matchup a couple years ago.
Beating the
when
Niners.
The Vikings got monkey stomped.
Yeah, I know, but Jay Jettis is going to go off in that game. I have a feeling about. I looked at when I was writing this out. I looked at it and I had the Niners winning, and I was like, I think the Vikings might be able to squeak this one out.
So you have a 2017 NFC Championship rematch.
Yep, when Keenum and Foles were the 2 quarterbacks.
2 backs.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, so now AFC divisional time. This is big. This is what I like to call the 3-team playoff.
Yep.
Even though I have 1 seed Bills versus 5 seed Ravens.
Ooh,
I-
a little flashback for that one. I
Yeah.
think. Couple, was
I-
it 2 years ago when that happened?
The COVID year.
Yeah.
We had
That was a good
limited
game,
fans.
too.
That was a great game. The Ravens definitely could have beat us that game.
Yeah.
I have the Bills winning that game. I don't think the Ravens can come into Buffalo and beat us right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Number 2 Chiefs versus number 3 Bengals.
It's a good game.
Great game,
It's a
always in
good
the
game.
playoffs. I
Yeah.
mean, I got the Chiefs.
Okay. Yeah.
Only because they're home. Only because they're home.
Yeah.
And Super Bowl champions really, I mean, they don't tend to lose before the conference championships if they make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Statistically.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll carry over. 1-seeded Chiefs versus 5-seeded Jets. I have the 5-seeded Jets
No.
in this matchup. Yep.
No.
The Chiefs walk into Arrowhead,
Gavin.
and the Jets win this game. 2-seeded Bengals.
You're serious?
I'm dead serious. Dead serious. 2-seeded Bengals, 3-seeded Bills. Now that the Bills have the DeMar Hamlin game earlier in the season where I had them losing, now that that worry's gone, this is where the Bills go in, and this is where the Bills win. And Bills are going to make it back to the AFC Championship finally.
Wow. So you think.
AFC
Let's talk about AFC
East,
Championship right now because I am floored right now.
AFC East
We both have the
matchup.
Bills.
I have an AFC East matchup in,
Yeah.
in the championship.
So you have it in Buffalo. I also
Might
have
as-
it in Buffalo.
Yeah. I would. I'm not even a Bills fan, but I would want to be there so bad for the first AFC championship there since 1997.
I can't even imagine what it's going to
Oh
be
my
like
God.
when it happens because the Bills will be hosting the Chiefs this year in the AFC
I would
Championship.
actually love that game so much.
Tickets would be
Probably $300.
So
bucks a
much.
each.
so much.
Nosebleeds would probably be $300.
And I would love to pay that much money to go to that game.
If I was a Bills fan, I'd probably do
I
the same
would,
thing.
yeah. Especially to see Mahomes just get sacked first play. Von Miller sacked Patrick Mahomes first play AFC Championship in Buffalo. There's no roof on the place, but if there was, it'd be
loud,
gone.
yeah.
It'd be gone.
It'd be blown off.
I have the Bills winning this game.
Nice.
I have the Bills going to the Super Bowl.
Nice.
which I know sounds biased, but I really think if we can be at home, we'll get over the hump.
So I also have the Bills at home hosting Aaron Rodgers, notorious for losing his in the NFC Championship. He's going to do the same thing in the AFC. Bills are going to the Super Bowl.
Let's go.
That's
big.
I think the Bills. I think that Bills' first game when I have them against the Chargers or any team for that matter, and a Super Wild Card weekend, that's where they really find their foot, and that's where they really dig deep. And I really see that the Bills going to the Super Bowl this year. I obviously see the Bengals and the Chiefs. I mean, I can see both. But I think the Bills are going to do it finally. For the first time in Ryan Taylor's history, he will watch a Bills.
Ryan Taylor would cry. I would cry my eyes out, but Ryan Taylor would be on the floor. Shout out to RT.
Yep.
Shout out to Cam, too. Shout out to all the Bills fans. Shout out to Connell. Shout out to Mike. Shout out to all the boys.
Scotty Tuati.
My dad, Frank.
Yeah. Both our dads are Bills fans.
That's true. NFC Championship now. I have Eagles, Vikings.
That's just a disaster.
It will be. The Eagles are going to demolish them again in the NFC Championship. I feel bad for Kirk. After watching quarterback, he seems like such a good guy. He seems like such a good guy, and he actually is a really good NFL quarterback, but he just can't get over the hump, man. I really want him to win. I'm not particularly a Vikings fan, but, man, I want Kirk to win. Kirk to win, but he's just not. The Eagles are going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so I have Eagles and 49ers. Same matchup as last year. Same outcome, but in a different way. That's going to be a one-score game. Gotta be. Eagles 49ers might be one of the greatest NFC championships we'll ever watch. But all the way in the end, Charlie and I still have the same Super Bowl matchup.
Wow, who would have thought?
From a way different road we both take. We both took a different road.
Yep.
But we both still have Bills and Eagles.
Bills and Eagles, Super Bowl 58. Mark your calendars.
Where
Don't fall asleep at halftime. Don't fall asleep at halftime.
Don't fall asleep.
Gavin Williams fell asleep at halftime of Super Bowl 57. Let's see if he does it again.
It's not going to happen.
Let's go back to back.
Bills, where is it this year? Is it in Las Vegas this year?
I think it's in Vegas.
Yeah.
So, stakes are high.
Wow.
Pun intended.
Wow.
I want to hear yours first before I go.
I went into depth with this one. Okay. Same thing as last year. One of the greatest Super Bowl matchups ever. Eagles win the Super Bowl, 35-31. Super Bowl MVP, Jalen Hurts, 4 total touchdowns, including a rushing touchdown, 422 total yards with 56 rushing yards, 0 interceptions. Devontae Smith, 2 touchdowns, 142 yards.
He's not torching us. Okay.
Yep. Now this is where I bring up the man, Jalen Carter, 2 sacks.
2 sacks?
2 sacks for Jalen Carter.
Okay.
Darius Slay, 6 tackles and 1 interception. And A.J. Brown, 1 touchdown, 108 yards.
I mean, that's incredible. You said, obviously, Jalen Hurts, probably Super Bowl MVP.
Yep.
What do you think I'm going to say right here?
I think you're going to have the Eagles winning.
My family might disown me. I have the Philadelphia Eagles winning the Super Bowl. I've been saying this for a long time. When the Bills, with Josh Allen, get to a Super Bowl, they're going to lose the first one and win the second one.
Yeah.
I don't know why my reasoning to that is. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we get there, first of all. But if we get there and we lose,
you might not see Charlie for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'll probably go into hibernation. But
Out of Bounds will be on pause.
Might be. But I have the Eagles winning this game 30-24. Put a score in there. I don't really have any stats like you did, but I do think that coming off of, honestly, one of the greatest quarterback performances in Super Bowl history last year, Jalen Hurts is going to redo it. Not score as many points, just score 5 less. Still win the game.
Yeah.
Or win the game this year. But that would be a great Super Bowl.
Does that hurt to say?
I mean, it really does. And
Jalen Hurts to say?
I'm not – that was good. I'm not happy I'm saying it, but it's just what I've been saying all along. I'd feel like a hypocrite if I had the Bills winning, because I've been saying that once we get to 1 with Josh, we're going to lose the first one. Hopefully we get to a second one and win that one.
Yeah. I like that one.
Yeah.
Wow. Great recap.
Great recap. Great predictions for this year. But the episode's not done.
We hope you're still with us.
we do hope you're still with us. We'd just be talking into mics right now. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to start this weekly series. So we're going to predict every game in the NFL season. Just who we think's going to win.
Yep.
Nothing with betting lines or anything like that. No over-unders. Just
No
straight,
scores, just who's winning.
Just who's winning the game. Who's winning the game, and we're going to tally it up on our Instagram.
It is at Out of Bounds Podcast with a dot in between every single word.
Yes, there is, Gavin. So starting next week, we're going to start the episode with a recap of the week before.
How we did.
And then how we did, what's our record in the predictions, and then finally go into our next week predictions. And we will have those posted on, Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday before the Thursday night game.
Yep.
Because, our schedules are not just completely open. I mean, we still have classes to go to.
I wish this could be my full-time job right now.
That would be great, but for right now, we got to still work around some other stuff. So it'll be there in the middle of the week. Just expect it, like it up, repost it, do what you got to do.
Do what you can to spread the word.
Spread the word. With that being said, let's get into our week-by-week predictions.
Yep. So first matchup this Thursday, Detroit at Kansas City.
Interesting opening game, honestly.
It's really interesting opening game.
I have the Chiefs.
I have the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Not a lot to say. I mean, I think it's going to be a competitive game. I have the Chiefs at the end.
And
winning by 2 scores.
Me and Gavin were talking about our predictions yesterday. We have a lot of the same ones, but there's some variety in there.
Yeah.
Carolina at Atlanta. This is a big swing game in the NFC South.
I mean, it's the first game of the season, too.
Yeah. I have the Falcons.
I also do. This is where you're going to see Bijan Robinson have 2 touchdowns.
That'd be pretty cool. Cincinnati at Cleveland.
Interesting matchup. I still see the Bengals winning.
I also have the Bengals winning.
Yep.
Jacksonville at Indianapolis.
I have Jacksonville, but I think Anthony Richardson will show some signs of some good.
You think he's gonna have a good game?
I think he'll have 2 touchdowns, but he might have an interception.
I think he'll have 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
I think 1 rushing touchdown.
Okay.
But I think the Jags will score like 40-plus points.
Yeah.
Have a great game. Tampa Bay at Minnesota.
I have Minnesota.
Minnesota? Okay. So I also have Minnesota, but I don't know. Something about Baker, man. No, I'm just kidding. Baker's going to have a pretty awful year, I think. But Minnesota's just, like I said before, I think they're going to be a really good team, make it to the divisional. Tennessee at New Orleans, also a very interesting matchup.
No, I have New Orleans monkey stomping them.
Yeah, I have New Orleans too, but it's kind of weird that these two are starting the season against each other.
Mm-hmm. That's an interesting matchup for week 1.
But I have New Orleans here. You also have New Orleans, you said? Yeah, okay. San Francisco at Pittsburgh.
That should be
it's going to be closer than people think.
It's going to be a better game than a lot of people think. I still have San Fran on this, but
me too.
This might be the glimpse where you see George Pickens and Kenny Pickett. This is the new era for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it is. It's weird to say.
Yeah.
Something I'll touch on here. If I had to pick a game to be an upset or like a big upset, it would be Pittsburgh over San Fran. Just because Pittsburgh just because they're coaching Mike Tomlin, they have a really good track record with starting off the season hot. They did it against the Bills a few years ago. That was a crushing loss. But that time it was in Buffalo. This time it's in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Kind of helps them. San Fran flying across the country.
It's not cold yet,
it's
but
not cold. But you still got to fly. You're going to be tired. So
it's still in Pittsburgh.
Yes,
where some of the craziest fans of the whole NFL.
Great fans over there.
Yeah. Next game is
Arizona at Washington.
Horrible.
Washington.
We're not even going to talk about this one.
Bad game.
Another one pretty bad game. Houston at Baltimore. I have Baltimore.
I also have Baltimore, but I think Houston's going to really show some flashes, and you'll see when I come back on here and for our week 2 predictions, I'll be talking about how good that Houston offense looked in week 1.
And so now we'll start a little bit of us changing our answers. It's not going to be the same one every time. Green Bay at Chicago. Jordan Love, his first game to own the Bears.
It always happens every year. Somebody has a really good game week 1, then they start to get put in unreasonable MVP talks. Justin Fields is going to be that guy this year. Everybody has him for an outside shot at winning MVP, like Lamar did a few years ago. But the difference is that Lamar is actually a decent quarterback in the NFL. Not saying Justin Fields can't be, but for right now, with the team that he has around him, just can't do it. But I do have them winning this game. So I think it's going to be a really good game, though.
Go Pack, go. Moving on. Las Vegas at Denver. I have Denver winning this.
Same. I
Yeah.
also have Denver. I mean, it's tough to actually go into Denver and play there.
Yeah.
Um,
No matter what time of the year it is.
yeah, true.
Next matchup is Philadelphia at New England, and God
Philly.
bless your souls, New England,
Oh,
because
man.
wow, this is going to be a good old-fashioned butt
I'm
whooping.
glad they have that new scoreboard because Philly might put up enough ditches to go right across it. Um,
Wow, I
it's
love
not
that.
going to be a close game.
No, this
It's
is
not
going to
gonna
get
be a close
ugly.
game.
This is going to get real ugly.
Could be.
Patriots fans.
Wouldn't it be
Real
crazy if New England wins and then we have to come back on and
And talk about it.
talk about it?
That'd be weird.
I'll apologize to Patriots fans if they
If they win.
lose this game. Or if they win this game,
This
yeah.
one, yeah.
Here we go. Some of the best games this week are coming up right here.
Yep.
Miami at the Chargers.
I have the Chargers winning this game. This is one of
I have
their
Miami.
state-
I have Miami.
I have the Chargers, and remember how I had Miami missing the playoffs
yes.
because of a slow start.
This game.
This could be the start of their slow start. And I think this is where Los Angeles is going to bump over Miami in the standings. It's only week 1, but in the long run, when they might have a tiebreaker to see who goes to the playoffs, this is where the Chargers are going to.
That's why I have the
Have a big
Dolphins
time.
at my 6th seed and the Chargers at the 7th seed. Same thing. I mean, big swing games early for a few of these teams.
Yeah.
And there's not necessarily this next game, which is the Rams versus the Seahawks, but the next 2 games are big
Yeah.
swing games. So Rams, Seahawks, who do you got?
I have Seattle.
Yeah, me too. I mean, going into Seattle's a really hostile
It's
environment.
12th man.
Yeah. Matt Stafford coming back though.
That's
That's
big.
big.
That's big.
I like
And it's
watching
an
Matt
NFC
Stafford
West.
play.
It's an NFC West
Yeah.
matchup. So we'll see what can happen. I mean,
What can happen?
I still see Seattle controllably by 2 scores.
I would agree. I think it's gonna be close most of the game, and then I think Seattle pulls away second half, maybe fourth
They
quarter.
might start off slow, but they'll
Yep.
they'll enough strong.
Dallas at the Giants.
I have New York Football Giants winning this game.
Okay, I have the Dallas Cowboys. I think they go in to New York and kind of take that first step in beating the Giants, or just being better than the Giants in the division, staying in front of them the whole year.
I think Dallas will end up better than the Giants, but I think this is where one of the Giants' crucial wins can come.
It's definitely a big game. It's a bigger game for the Giants than I think the Cowboys, especially because the Giants are at home, divisional game, Sunday night. I mean, that's what you want if you're the Giants. Like our friend Tommy, he's a big Giants fan. He's all in on the Giants this weekend.
is.
I kind of see why, but I don't know. Dallas going in there, they're a really good football team. I think Dak's gonna have a really good year because he has to.
Yeah.
Because he has to.
And Dallas is very notorious for playing really good in New York or New Jersey.
New
But,
Jersey, there's only one New York team.
I mean, Dallas, they always win those games when they're in MetLife. But I really see a really good game, and people might say this is why we paid Daniel Jones.
Yeah, definitely
And-
could be.
And this is a big game for Giants fans right here.
It is. What's funny is that the next night, same stadium.
Yeah,
Same stadium, different teams. Bills at Jets.
It's gonna be a good game.
That's going to be a really good game. I'm going to be nervous all day Sunday thinking about,
Playing your
and
Bills.
Monday,
Yeah.
just
They have
thinking about
class,
the
too.
game. Yeah, I got to get through a whole day just thinking about the Bills playing.
This is gonna be an emotional game.
It will be.
It's on 9/11
It's on 9/11
in New York,
in New York. I mean,
right across the river from where it happened.
it's going to be.
It's gonna be very
going to be an emotional game. It's going to be a great game. I hope
Great
it's going to be a great game.
I do too.
And I have the Bills winning.
I have the Jets winning.
It's very fair.
This is the.
Very fair.
I'm gonna put this out there right now. This is the only divisional matchup the Bills will lose. Is Week 1
Wow.
at the Jets.
You think we sweep Miami?
I think you sweep every other game.
Mm.
I don't see
Wow.
you guys losing to the Patriots. I don't see the Bills losing to the Jets again. And I certainly don't see Miami getting a game on Buffalo because this isn't week 1 in Miami. This isn't 100 degrees on the sideline. But this is where Aaron Rodgers shines, man.
I mean,
Loves
this is
these
the first
primetime
time those
games.
fans have really had a reason to go back into MetLife and
And I
be
don't-
diehards for their team
I mean,
in a while.
the only Jets game I watched primetime last year was Thursday Night Football. And it was against the Jags when they weren't
Oof.
supposed to make the playoffs.
Yeah, no.
So this is really exciting for Jets fans.
It is. It is.
And this right here, I'm going to put this out. Timmy Barcombe shoved this down Connell's mouth when the Jets win.
I don't know, man. I don't know. The Bills. That's the Bills, man. I don't It's going to be tough for me to pick against the Bills, and I'll say that right now, week 1. So, good chance I pick the Bills in every single game, especially based on my standings. I have them beating both the Chiefs and the Bengals. But, yeah, I mean, we do have a really tough schedule this year. I mean, we have the 26th easiest, so I guess we have the 6th or 7th hardest schedule in the league. The Chiefs actually have a harder schedule than us.
Yeah,
which, looking at it, doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. I don't know if they factor in home and away.
I think
because they played the Bengals and the Bills at home.
Yeah.
Their hardest away game is probably in Minnesota or against the Chargers.
Or in Lambeau Field.
Or, I guess, in Lambeau. Lambeau is a tough place to play. But, yeah, I don't know. The Chiefs just – I'm not going to go on a rant about the Chiefs, but I think they get pretty lucky with the scheduling. But back to the Bills game. I think the Bills win. I think it's going to be a really close game.
And
too close.
Speaking of this game, it might be the best game of the whole weekend.
Definitely could be. I mean, ending with best game of the weekend, I would totally be fine with that.
Yeah. Definitely. So that's all we have for today.
It's our week-by-week predictions right there, closing out the episode.
And I hope you guys enjoyed the predictions and after the season awards and the Super Bowl and the playoffs and the predictions. But the predictions will come every single week, which will be really fun.
That's going to be pretty fun. It's going to be fun to see our tallies, either rising and falling. And under this post on YouTube or in our Instagram, I want you to predict who's going to have a better record, Gavin or me.
You know the right answer to this one, people.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it might be pretty close, but I feel like some of our friends might go with you.
Yeah, and once the season gets deeper, it'll get more interesting because the games will be better. We'll see how the teams actually are. Week 1's tough, but
week 1 is tough.
This was fun, so thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. Really appreciate it. Thank you for all the support. Let's keep it going. Season 2 is going to be really good. We got more stuff on the way. It's going to be a lot of NFL, but we're going to sprinkle some other things in there, so be ready for that.
Yeah, so thank you guys for listening. And as always, please leave a comment on our Instagram page or even on our YouTube. It's at Out of Bounds Podcast with a dot in between every single word.
Yes, there is.
And we'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Have a great day.